What does that mean? I'm missing something.
Sometimes you tell somebody, hey kid, you got great ideals, but that's pie in the sky. In the real world, here's how you got to get along with people. Here are the lies that we tell each other in order to be accepted. And a regular person says, no problem, I'll sign on to that social contract. She's not going to sign on to that. And not only will she not sign on to it, but she will feel the truth is under attack. And in response to that attack on the truth, she will become even more vigilant and even more exaggerated in her zealousness for truth and justice and all of these idealistic principles. So,
hello?
Hey there, you're on the air.
Oh, wow. Okay. So my question is, I know Rabbi Taub speaks often on neurodiversity. I guess that's a popular topic tonight. And
like with
Rabbi Taub in general.
It's the algorithm.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that anymore. So far, my algorithm keeps bringing this up again and again, and it's coming up in with parenting and with my kids and in myself. But obviously this has to be tied to my personal journey as well. And maybe this should just become a support group helpline for this type of journey. But essentially, as someone who was discovered ADHD as an adult and currently raising a kid with a newish diagnosis within the autism spectrum, I'm very curious to know. I know Rabbi Taub speaks often about neurodiversity from a spiritual standpoint and appreciating, that certain neshamos, have a certain, like maybe connection to Hashem and to MS. I certainly see that with my daughter in a very, very, thank God, very obvious.
How old is she?
Obvious way.
How old is your daughter?
She's 6.
She's 6. Okay.
She's 6, but she's been talking. She's been asking really complicated existential questions for years.
And she's been diagnosed as on the spectrum?
Yeah. Yeah, she has. But what's interesting and what I wanted to ask Rabbi Taub specifically was regarding this particular profile, understanding how to best channel her strength, help her channel her strength as her mother, because what is so particular about this profile, I'm not sure if Rabbi Taub is familiar with it, is that it's exactly what it sounds like. The PDA is pervasive drive for autonomy, or sometimes it's understood as pathological demand avoidance. Both of those have all the challenges implied in their in their wording as the parent, and sort of flipped everything that I thought I knew about parenting on its head. And since everything I knew about parenting I acquired through a mess, everything I thought I knew I acquired through just years of healing and overcoming and working against the odds of dysfunction. I think this is sort of like a new curveball and a new lens. And I just would love to hear Rabbi Taub's understanding and just words of, I need some clarity here. I need direction here. And I need it like really specifically, because I understand the specialness and the uniqueness of the autism, just the general autism diagnosis and how that can come out. And I've seen it, like I said, but with this particular profile, it's like, it's a level of letting go that I find myself tripping up over a lot more, because the pathways to success are sometimes so unconventional and sometimes surprising, like if you think you know anything, this is like my steepest learning curve, and I've been through it, you know, in other areas. But this by far is just every morning. It's like waking up almost, I wouldn't say waking up to a new kid, because that's a little strong, but waking up to a set of challenges that aren't predictable based on anything I've experienced the day or the week before, whether it's school avoidance, or it's like we're doing so great and super regulated, and all of a sudden, you know, there's this, you know, this massive dysregulation period that, you know, for the life of me, I can't pinpoint the source of, even though I was previously, you know, kind of on the money, so to speak.
Right.
And it's always just been important to me, I think, as a mother, to keep my finger on the pulse. And here I am being like, Hashem, I feel like, you know, I take Rabbi Taub's parenting courses, and I do like everything I think I'm supposed to do. And I'm working so hard to regulate myself and be there for my kids and just be present and all of that. And it's like, what? Like, what do I do with this? Like, what is this? What is it? Is it just is like my whole purpose just like radical acceptance? Like, and I don't even know if I like that word, because it sounds very new agey. Yeah. It sounds like how do you transmit values to someone who has like an inherent opposition to any sort of outside perceived external demands. Yeah. Like, isn't that what does that make any sense? That was a long ramble, but
no, makes perfect sense.
I hope that was at least. Oh, thank you. I'm going to cry just from having that validated.
Makes perfect sense. Go ahead and cry. It's cathartic to cry. You 100% made sense. Made complete sense.
Okay.
So
I'm not looking for tips and tricks. Like, I do the hard work.
You gave a lot of answers. You basically gave a lot of answers.
The radical acceptance, new agey stuff.
Yeah, you know that. I know you don't like the words, but you already know that that's the answer.
Why?
Give it another name. I know you're tripping up on the name. Give it another name.
You know. No, I'm tripping up over the PDA names.
Okay, well,
too hard.
We're not going to use that either. We don't have to use these names. These names,
but it's not.
Go ahead.
It's not. I know, I know deep down, this is not resistance is not to truth. If anything, when we were having an issue today, school related, my husband, who's on the spectrum himself and just tells it like it is like, the problem for everyone is that she's a human lie detector.
Right.
She is. She's a human lie detector test. You cannot, there's nothing you can do to get anything past her, correct, even if it's your subconscious that's trying to get something past her.
Right.
So I am forced into like the level of self-work where every single thing that comes out of my mouth, whether it's about mitzvahs, Yiddishkeit, the weather, it doesn't matter. I have to believe, it has to be something I believe to be true wholeheartedly.
That's right.
And like, not even like chatzi, like not even mostly. It can't even be that like if I'm having an off day with my bitachon, like my kid is like, I'm not going to school.
Yep.
Like it's crazy. It literally is that. And I'm like, I have to live in a hole, because I feel like, you know, the things that people complain about their teenagers, like, oh, my teenagers like that. I'm like,
okay.
You wouldn't, if you could be a bird's eye in my house with my 6-year-old, like you probably appreciate your crazy teenagers right now, because at least you don't have a human lie detector all the time. And like when she was like 3, I was talking to someone from a healthcare company, and I was getting stressed out on the call on the Bluetooth in the car. And I guess she could feel the stress in my voice. I didn't say anything, I don't think so so mean to the lady. I just was like, I need to get whatever it was. Like, I really need this to happen or something. I hang up the phone and she was 3 or 4, and she goes, Mommy, I thought she was going to ask for a snack. She goes, do you always listen to your Yates or Toth? And it's never stopped. Like that's just sort of how it is all the time. So when I told my brother the story, he's like, that sounds like you have abuse. Like you're living with abuse. Yeah, that's what's like, it's living on the witness stand. The problem is that I'm on the witness stand. I want to help her to do her best, but I guess that just means doing my best. I don't know if I answered my own question, but
okay.
I don't know.
So let me just share one insight with you, which perhaps will be helpful.
Okay.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier, how do you transmit values to somebody who basically doesn't care about any external expectations, external pressure, external norms? And my answer to you
is allergic to.
Yeah. My answer to you is, I want you said you had to unlearn so much. You had to let go of so many axioms. Okay. I need you to destroy another axiom.
Which one?
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. And it probably is based on the way you were educated. But it's actually, it's the way most of us were educated. And it's actually based on a lie. And this little truth-telling girl is forcing you to reject this lie. That lie is that obedience has anything to do with values. It's actually the opposite. The person who has values does not have to be obedient. They value the behavior because of the behavior having intrinsic worth.
Yes.
The obedient person never learns to value the behavior. They just do it because that's what's expected of them, and they care enough about not being rejected or facing social sanctions. So they do, they go along to get along, basically. So this girl actually, unlike the way most children are educated, actually can learn values. She actually can learn values. In fact, the only way she will do something is if she learns what the value is. That's the only way she'll do
100%.
it. That's right.
100%.
So you're asking, how will she learn values? Very simple. By teaching her these values. And not only will she learn them, but part of her special quality of gravitating toward truth. You didn't mention this, but I would assume, I would bet good money on it also overlapping with a strong, and I would say even intense sense of justice.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And calling out
conscientious.
injustice.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Since she could talk.
Right.
Yeah. And she's always right, which is a problem because I have to explain the world to her. The world does not, this is not like this, like we're the theme of like, this is not the world. This is not the way the world should work more along the lines of her world.
She's telling you the way the world should work, and you're telling her the way, and she's right. And you're telling her the way the world does work. So what I'm telling you is this.
How do you really explain that in an emotionally healthy, sound way?
You don't. You are beating your head against the wall. You're exhausting yourself. You're frustrating yourself. You're speaking Chinese to her. She can't understand it. It doesn't make her understand it more. It actually forces her to reject it more. Stop it. Every time you try to give her that reality check about what the world is really like, you are actually forcing her to become even more zealous in her idealism.
What does that mean? I'm missing something.
Sometimes you tell somebody, hey, kid, you got great ideals, but that's pie in the sky. In the real world, here's how you got to get along with people. Here are the lies that we tell each other in order to be accepted. And a regular person says, no problem, I'll sign on to that social contract. She's not going to sign on to that. And not only will she not sign on to it, but she will feel the truth is under attack. And in response to that attack on the truth, she will become even more vigilant and even more exaggerated in her zealousness for truth and justice and all of these idealistic principles. So every time you try to tone her down and give her a dose of, I don't want to call it cynicism, but that essentially is what it is, not only is it not accomplishing anything, it is counterproductive because it forces her to go on attack or counterattack in the name of her ideals. So I'm going to suggest to you to never, ever, 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 ever tell her the harsh truth about reality.
What is that? I know this is going to sound so ridiculous,
things
but
like,
can I have an example?
Well, the hypocrisy that is inherent in most institutions, including schools, especially religious schools. So when you
I don't tell her that stuff.
If you tell her that this is just the way that it is, she's going to actually attack it more.
Okay, so what is the alternative? What is the alternative?
Speak her language.
Maybe I'm just...
You have to speak her language. You have to speak her language.
Help! Is there... What does that look like? I mean, I feel like sometimes I do when I'm not triggered. Right. You know.
Correct.
But I don't remember it. It's not intellectual. It's like, it's visceral. And when I'm triggered, I can't do it. I don't even, in our conversation right now, I don't even remember what I do when I'm doing it right.
So, a lot of your inability to communicate with her the way she needs to be communicated with is because you are being triggered, because you're still trying to hold everything together. You're still trying to manage. Yeah, you're still trying to manage to get through the system without getting tossed out, without it breaking you or you breaking it. And you're going to have to let go of that, because that's what's causing you stress. Every time she does something which is a threat to your ability to get through the system without it breaking you or you breaking it, you get triggered, and then you lose your ability to communicate with her in the way she needs to be communicated with. So you have to let go. I won't use the word radical acceptance, but you have to let go and you have to accept that raising this child is going to require all types of creative solutions that are not are not the norm, and you're going to have to learn how to accept being a weirdo, being an outcast, being a pariah. I don't mean to do that as a badge of honor. There are people like that who lean into it and they make that their personality. And I'm not saying to do that. What I'm saying is, you're not trying to incur social rejection. You're not trying to shock people. You're not trying to be different. You're just trying to take care of your kid. And if people disapprove, let them disapprove.
Yeah, but then that still doesn't answer the question about...
You're not going to get her to school every day.
Okay.
You're not going to get her to follow all the rules.
Right.
There are going to be costs. There are going to be opportunity costs.
Okay.
You are not going to be able to avail yourself of every opportunity that is offered to the people who are willing to squash themselves into the system. You can't have both. It's not going to happen. Now,
so how do you know? How do you? Yeah. Okay.
My guide to you would be, if you do anything where you feel that you're killing your daughter's spirit, there's no justification. There's no justification. You have to nurture her. Anyways, Hashem doesn't make mistakes. He knows who he gave to each soul as a parent for this embodiment. And there are a lot of lessons for you to learn from parenting this unique girl. She'll teach you truth and idealism and purity of heart. All these wonderful things that this world seems to have very little regard for, but which really are things of enduring value. Okay, we have another caller, so I want to move on, but thank you for the call, and radical acceptance, you'll come up with another term for it and let me know. Come up with a more acceptable term.
Thank you.
Let me know what it is.
Thanks
Okay.
so much.
I have other calls coming in. One second. Yeah, hi. Are you calling in right now? Okay, try again on that number that I gave you. Oh, actually, wait. Can you call me back in like 50? No. 1 second. No, on that other number. That 516 number. Wait, could you call me in 15 minutes? Is that okay? Ooh, okay. 1 second. Michael, welcome. Michael's on the show.
Rabbi, how are you?
Baruch Hashem. Thank God. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Glad to hear it.
Hi, Melissa. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, thanks for having me on tonight.
It's our pleasure. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rabbi. Great to be here.
Hey there. How are you doing?
Doing well. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Thanks for taking me.
Hello?
Hey there. You're on the air. We'd like to extend a special thank you to Mendel Simon and 9x9 Tech for powering this call-in show and making it possible for us to connect with our amazing audience. 9x9 Tech offers a one-stop service for all your communication needs, along with personalized tech solutions catered specifically towards your business. Visit 9x9tech.com today. That's 9x9tech.com. Thank you, Mendel and the team, for your incredible support. Hey, this is Shais Taub. You were just watching a clip from this class. If you want to get the full context, the full class that this clip that you just watched was from, you watch right here. Click right here. Here.